Welcome back, folks. Before we go on, I just want to check on some sports stats, keep myself sharp here on the sports, and I'll use my computer and just go in here. I'm going to check. Okay.
Folks, it's the Too Much Dip live stream Thursday night. A brisk, crisp Thursday night. How we doing, lads?
Fantastic. Speaking of brisk, I'm feeling every bit of that because I am outside right now on my patio, just killing it.
Chilly.
Wow, socially distant.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Just wanted to mix it up. I thought it'd have like a more of a sexier vibe out here. I'm not sure if it's hitting the mark, but that's what I had in mind anyway.
There's nothing sexier than a backyard.
I could turn these lights on. I might look better. I might try that.
Looks good. Oh, you got some can lights?
You got some cool brick back there too.
1 second.
Who's cracking? Sorry.
Old men jacket, for ironing.
What's up, KJ?
What's happening, fellas? I can't wait to get to dip picks tonight. I'm just going to let the people know. You're going to want to hear about the recent changes in rankings because the results will shock you.
I was shocked. I didn't realize what was happening, but there's been a change. There's been a sea change, and boy, are we going to talk about it. Hi, what's up, Micah?
Hi, David. It's great to be here. Wow, look at those lights. Dylan just turned it on. It's like the Zilker tree in here. Tremendous. Great backlighting.
Quite
You look
festive over here. Come on over, Micah. You hang out, man.
I'd like to. Maybe from a socially distanced 6 feet outside. We'll do this next time.
Okay.
Man, what a treat this is. Too much dip. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. I'm excited.
I'm not in my right spot.
Oh,
Here we go. Now it makes sense.
It feels
You sound so much better.
Yeah.
You sound a lot better.
Man, we got a lot going on right now. I'm continuing to monitor the situation, but we got some potential Philly Houston news that might drop mid-pod. So let's just keep an eye on it. By the way, I sent out the tweet if y'all want to hit it with the RT. And that goes for the people at home too. Retweet it. It's fun. Tweets are fun. I like tweets. Tweets are cool.
What's that Twitter account, David?
At Too Much Dip Podcast. It's at Too Much Dip, 2 P's on Twitter, at Too Much Dip Podcast on Instagram, confusingly, and I apologize for that.
I bet all the people at home won't hit it with an RT.
I bet you won't.
I bet you I just did. How about that?
Prove us wrong. I guess we should probably start off with something that no one expected. Micah, I don't know if you've had the chance to look at Twitter, but it looks like we've got some Tuberville news. Do you have anything you want to say?
No, I'm unfamiliar. Will you fill me in on what the news is today?
Well, according to sources, Senator-elect Tommy Tuberville suggests he'll back an effort on a challenge to the Electoral College vote. And I was going to give you the floor.
Nah. I'm not taking the bait. I have no takes on Tommy Tuberville.
Followers.
Yeah, I think the people of Alabama got the representative they deserve, and so the whole state can be mad at me for that.
I think they really missed out when they didn't go with, what was it, Big John or Big Dave, or what was that guy's name? They didn't elect last time around.
That's a
writing in little girls' school books at like 40. Oh,
yeah, not great when you get banned from the mall for being too creepy. That's not what you want.
As someone who has probably almost been banned from a mall, but mainly for like probably dropping stink bombs, I got to say, it's very tough to get a permanent ban from a mall.
Yeah, I was kicked out of a mall about 3 years ago, shooting Rowdy Gentleman.
3 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
Gentleman promo, of course. It was electric in there. Yeah, nobody likes the mall.
The power plant. Missed the power plant. That was fun.
Micah, you have any sage words for us on the final night of Hanukkah, or Chanukah, if you will?
Yeah, Chanukah. Happy Chanukah to everyone. My menorah is behind me, but the candles were not cooperating this evening. So, but they will later. We've pushed. It's supposed to happen at sunset, but we've pushed that ceremony till after too much dip. It's more
Don't
important.
tell me you ran out of oil. It's just not how this works.
There was a Hanukkah miracle today as we learned that one of the vaccines, I think it's the Pfizer vaccine, the thing they're shipped in, it's supposed to be 4 or 5, but apparently it lasts for 6 people. So a true Hanukkah miracle.
Wow. How about that?
Micah,
Big time,
was your favorite wrestler growing up Superfly Jimmy Chinooka?
It's good.
It's all of the problematic characters today.
I mean, as far as Jewish wrestlers go, the list starts and ends with Goldberg, correct?
Yeah.
Ah,
That makes sense.
That's the guy.
I was realizing
That's the
I was
list.
sitting in gaming position. I was like real low to the floor, and Dylan's new position like is way higher. I was like, I don't know, man. I gotta balance this out. I was getting baited just by my seating position.
Damn.
You look great,
Jeffrey
KJ.
Tubin?
I love when somebody randomly asks like where that's from, and like, you just enjoy this, choose your own, this little adventure on your own. You go.
It sounds like multiple people, apparently. Yeah, you want to talk Thursday Night Football?
Ooh, Thursday night.
Yeah.
Raiders Chargers. AFC West showdown that everybody was waiting for. Who's ready for this?
I was more excited before I realized that the Chargers have Austin Eckler. I don't know if he's playing tonight, and then Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are on a pitch count. So it's going to affect your boys' fantasy playoffs, but we can get to that later. There's nothing more that I'd like to see than David Carr's hopes and dreams for the playoffs be dashed by big Justin Herbert on Thursday Night Football. I'm
right there with you, KJ. I'm really hoping that happens. I'm going to bet with my heart here, not my brain, or pick, I should say, when we finally do that. But yeah, I'm with you. By the way, Keenan Allen, is he the most underrated receiver in the league?
He's been incredible.
That dude is a baller. Doesn't get the hype, but he's so good.
This is that weird time of the year where we also get Saturday night NFL games.
Oh, and by weird time, you mean great time of the year. It is weird this year because we get college football at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, I love when the NFL takes over Saturdays. I'm into it.
I don't disagree. It does mean that we don't have room for the Tropical Smoothie Frisco Bowl this year, so that got flexed out to not happen.
Do you think that had more to do with the NFL or COVID-19 taking over your school?
More to do with don't want to play 19.
It's also that weird time of year, which I love. If you live in Texas and you're lucky enough to get Fox Sports Southwest, which unfortunately many people are not at this current time, you get some Texas high school football playoff action.
Yes.
Which is just a delight.
Talk about the Panthers.
It's a big game this weekend. We got Skyline. Duncanville should win by 4 touchdowns. That's neither here nor there. It's just fun sitting at home on an afternoon and being like, oh, I'm going to go watch Post versus Shriner.
This is a good game. Shriner. Was
Hey,
game?
How dope are Shiner's helmets?
Very dope.
Yeah, they literally have the same logo as the beer on their hat. I love it.
How do they get away with that?
Really?
Well,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It is. The story of the city of Shiner is that the first building they built there was the brewery when the German immigrants founded the city before they did anything else. So it's a real thing. It's an important part of that town.
Oh, that's cool. I honestly didn't make the connection that was the same Shiner. That's pretty sad on my part.
Sneaky shouts to Shiner, Texas. You didn't know that, Dave?
I knew that it was. I just didn't connect that the team I watched this afternoon was from. I don't know what I was thinking. I assumed for some reason that it was, since it was Post, which is out by Lubbock, it was a West Texas team. I don't know, which I know is stupid, but I'm a stupid man. Yeah. You want to burn through some of these NFL games?
Yeah, let's get these out of the way.
We got a couple of notables. Let's see. Panthers at Packers, Bills at Broncos. Damn, is that the best we got?
Well, those are the Saturday games.
Okay.
So those are decent amongst all of the. I mean, Bills Broncos is pretty good. I don't know. That's something to be on during all the college football stuff. If the if Bama gets up by 6 touchdowns, you can flip over to Bills Broncos.
I will watch any game with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That is always a fun ride. So yeah, I guess that is a good game to watch.
I've got to see all the Drew Lock dances. Got to Drew Lock and drop it.
Wow.
Man who likes
I
to
don't-
party. I don't.
That is not the official Drew Lock dance. Patriots at Dolphins. I'll watch that. Fantasy implications heavy there. Seattle at Washington. No, that's a fun game. The team from Washington. Chase Young, most electric young player in the league. I'll say it.
Hell on the steel guitar.
No one gets that.
I don't.
Yeah. Whoosh.
Now, I think seeing the Seahawks offense actually, or I'm sorry, let me back up. The team from Washington's defense play an above-average quarterback is going to be exciting because their D-line has been just demolishing left and right. So, I don't know. I'll be tuned in. I believe in whatever Washington's going to roll out there, and I don't think it's going to include Alex Smith. Have we seen anything on that, Micah?
It seems that it would be doubtful. He has a calf injury to the leg that he tore into a million pieces previously, and he had like part of his calf removed. So like I just don't know why they would rush him back. The football team doesn't need him. The football team's not going anywhere this year, even
Is
if they
that
are.
what happened with his calf? Because it's noticeably smaller than the other one. I was wondering.
I don't know
what
if they
exactly
cut.
happened, so.
I don't know if they cut part of it out, like to use it somewhere else, but he had a part of it removed, is what I'm told.
And that's
Sheesh.
part of where the infection was whenever they
I see.
cast it up.
Makes
After.
sense, I guess.
I would also like to say there's a bit of a viral infection going on in the comments right now where people are saying negative things about punching me in the face, and I don't understand it.
No. It's his wife.
most-
His wife's going to punch you in the face.
Well, and then below, there's another woman in the chat who said I'm punchable and would like to be punched in the face.
But she's
Well, lovable and
no,
punchable.
Yeah,
very
and then,
bottom here.
there's one more, Alisa.
who's a part of the tribe and a very important Discord.
Well, Micah, if it means anything to you, I want to kiss you in the face.
Well, that means a lot. And thanks to Juliet Blue, who said, Micah, resident calf expert, which is true.
Mike, I want to kiss you in the dark.
It's good.
Hey, Micah, what day of Hanukkah do we get to come over and just punch you in the face?
I think you have to wait till the ninth night. Yeah, that's after it's over.
Oh, goodness.
Everybody wants violence tonight.
Is
all
I woke up and chose violence.
all these fist exhibitions in the air just have people fiending for violence.
is Drew Brees back this week?
Probably not. Apparently, he
Hard to
may be
say.
healthy, but all signs point to him not playing this week.
There's no need to rush that guy back. No need.
Think they'll activate him and deactivate Jameis?
Oh, the disrespect on Jameis's name.
So bad.
He's eating W's out here.
Game, like there are worse quarterbacks out there. I don't get it. I don't get it. Taysom did start throwing the ball though. He had like 200 yards and a couple touchdowns in the game against the Eagles, but it was
Wow,
amazing.
200 yards. When's the last time? I mean, let's be honest. How many dubs has Taysom actually ate?
He's eaten what 4 out of 5
Dude.
dub. Right?
Yeah, he's been winning, man.
Okay, he's been winning, but has he eaten the dub? I've yet to see him eat the dub on national television. You tell me.
He's out here eating.
I think as a part of his faith, they don't eat dubs in public.
Wow.
They just
okay.
soak. They soak.
Okay.
They soak
Shorty-
dubs.
Shorty's soaking. Man, Sunday Night Football, Browns at Giants. No Jason Garrett due to COVID-19, the ongoing global pandemic. Man, this is going to really affect their offense with no Jason Garrett. Micah, what do you think?
I mean, it's going to affect the television watching experience because we might actually get sideline shots of the Giants' actual coach instead of just Jason Garrett all the time.
Yeah. He's not even hot. Well, he gets more airtime for an average-looking man than anyone. Maybe me. I'm the only other person.
By the way, who's starting for the Giants? Because I know Daniel Jones got pulled, didn't he? Like near the end of the game, they brought Colt back in.
Yes.
Is he going to start again? Daniel Jones.
That's why they pulled him. He would be starting unquestionably, but he has a lower leg injury separate than out originally.
I guess I thought it was performance related because they had a terrible game.
No, he's got high T. They would leave him in at all times.
Okay. I was trying to ride for my boy Colt. I don't know how it is.
I feel him. Did we see the Jarvis Landry, Marcus Peters spit in action? Was that? We don't even have the highlight here that we should be talking about. Was this before or after the number 2?
I think it was earlier in the game.
The doo-doo?
So we haven't had a chance to talk about Monday Night Football between the Ravens and Browns or any of the memes that followed. So,
Right. Has Lamar come clean and admitted that was a doo-doo baby?
Cramps. It was cramps. We know that walk. That's not a cramp walk. That's a dude. I got a doo-doo in like the next 10 seconds walk.
It might be
I've
doo-doo.
Done that plenty of time. Y'all know that walk.
I think he's
trying
going
to
yes.
that will be
No,
featured.
it's like a penguin walk, but you got to like waddle. You got to stay clenched. That we know that walk.
Well, the best part of the video to me is when he actually gets all the way to the locker room, and right as he's about to open the door, someone else comes out the door, and he makes like hand motion, like let's go, like that's
the way. That's
I was willing to believe it wasn't a doo-doo walk until I saw that, because we've all been in a moment where like, okay, I finally made it. Oh, move.
Like, keep it moving, lady. I got to go to the restroom.
There's no reason to throw shots at Paul Pierce and all that too. Like for
I
him
love that.
Immediately in post game, be like, no, I didn't pull a Paul Pierce. Like either he already seen the memes by the post game conference, or I mean, he knew what he did. If that came to mind,
it was genius because it got the conversation. It got the narrative being like, oh yeah, Paul Pierce in the wheelchair in the finals. Like, you remember that? And nobody's talking about Lamar.
Oh man, it's the aside from the obvious issues with shitting yourself, like to shit yourself in very sheen white football pants would be the absolute worst.
On national television in prime time.
Yeah,
that would be a bad look.
Nightclub, okay, it happens to all of us. I don't know. I would have preferred that it was Baker. I can tell you that much. Like, I don't think Progressive runs these commercials back if it was Baker.
Who gets stabbed or poops his pants?
Both.
You know, there's a moment when you're like, okay, I got it. I can just get back there. But then there's like, you see the doors, and something triggers in your brain, and everything kind of starts to relax, and it just goes to DEFCON 1, and you're faced with okay, do I need to speed walk or jog, or is that just going to make it worse? And usually it makes it worse, so you just have to try to maintain the work. And that's clearly where he was. Like, he was trying to do the run walk.
Yeah, it's like if you get to your house, you realize you're locked out, and you had to pee just a little bit. As soon as you realize you don't have your key ready or it's not there, it's all done. All done.
Dude, you're soaking.
Yeah. What is it with that, man?
Call KJ Taysom Hill because he be soaking.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on. Get past that.
I'll put Louis Riddick any day of the week. Now for a little more somber note, I did mention to a couple of people we would circle back to this, no pun intended whatsoever. Once more was known. Over the weekend, I believe it was, University of Florida's I want to kick it to college. University of Florida's starting forward Keontae Johnson collapsed during the game against Florida State while they're in Tallahassee. Initial reports was very scary. There were some comments that he had previously had COVID, but it's not worth the conjecture or like the assumption that this had anything to do with that. But it was bad enough to where he was immediately in critical condition and then put into a medically induced coma. Fortunately, a part of them doing that was to stabilize him enough to get him back to Gainesville, where he's since regained the ability to communicate with his caretakers and is FaceTimed with teammates and is talking, responding to commands. So I don't know if he's gained full mobility or if they figured out what the hell happened. But just a scary situation, just to have somebody fucking.
That is terrifying, man.
Knock out. David, who was it, if you recall, for the Stars, who had a heart issue on the bench?
Oh,
Stephen Johns, or is that somebody else?
Stephen Johns, I believe, because he didn't make the playoff roster. He couldn't play, but he tried to come back. He was out of the game for a couple of years, I think. I think it was Stephen Johns, though.
I think he recently retired from PTSD from the situation, basically, or just lingering mental health effects that were a result of that situation. So, scary situation, especially in the college ranks. I mean, and by all accounts, he's a junior, so I wouldn't say it's like, oh, hey, he's a lottery pick, but he was definitely – oh, I'm sorry, Stephen Johns was depression, so he did have mental health issues. Richard Heverly doesn't sound like the name that I'm thinking of, though. But Keontae Johnson was a big contributor, averaged like 14 points a game last year. So,
That's awful.
Rich Peverly collapsed on the Stars bench. I was actually watching that game.
Okay.
It was ominous things. Yeah. So they don't have any idea. Are they thinking like a heart deal, or I guess everybody's speculating at this point?
I haven't seen anything further to see if it was pulmonary, like lungs or cardiac or what. There may have been something I missed, but the other note came out today that Florida has postponed their next 3 games on account of the team just being too emotionally taxed throughout this. So, tough situation that players have to deal with, playing in empty stadiums, playing through COVID, dealing with that risk, even if they perceive it to be very little. You would imagine that as soon as something like this happens, that things get real quick, even if it's unrelated. So, tough situation.
Yeah, that's scary.
T's and P's, that's awful.
On a positive note, in NCAA's finally got its head out of their ass for once and basically said, we don't have time to fuck around. Like, everybody who's transferring in college basketball is immediately eligible. Like, we're not going to review all the shit. We ain't got time.
Wow.
Mike, I don't know if anybody of note was kind of involved with this.
I haven't seen any fallout from this, but it's my understanding this is across the board in any NCAA sport.
Correct.
So it's not just basketball.
I guess then would that affect it should. If this was in lieu or in lockstep with National Signing Day, which we'll talk about. NCAA did reply all. Yes, but in lockstep with signing day and your seniors having a free red shirt, like, how would this affect college football rosters? If we're saying now, I don't know, Sam Ehlinger can come back for a 6th year, but now he can also transfer and be immediately eligible. Like, you've got free agency.
Interesting times.
Did you see the bill that was introduced? I don't know if this is on here, but Cory Booker and 3 other Dems introduced for college athletics. I don't have the details on it, but it's something to be monitoring. Obviously, it's not gonna make it through the House, but
was this name
or the Senate?
Or what was it?
Likeness, shared compensation for student athletes. There would even be like not a czar, but some kind of appointed position that would oversee it.
How much money do you think that would generate if you played for the Kansas City or the Kansas football team?
You got to think tens of dollars.
More or less than the publicity they got out of those Run DMC coach pictures that we were sent.
That's what they got to watch out for, man. With stuff like this, it's like this parody in college football. It's already bad enough, but like you said, schools like Kansas, you're not going to get a blue chip prospect to go to your school when you're not generating any money, and you can go to Alabama and or Ohio State, USC, and make a ton, or not a ton, but actually get paid.
Yeah,
it's a slippery slope.
Somebody's having fun.
We got Klein in the comments, man.
Baby. Mike,
Oh,
thoughts on the rankings that came out last night or Tuesday night?
I have no thoughts on them other than you added some notes here which make a lot of sense. To me, it's just like all the top teams stayed the same, so it's a big yawn. Anything beyond the top 5 or 6 spots means nothing. So, people, I mean, I know Iowa State is 6th for some reason, which seems inexplicable. But I mean, we're at a spot right now where we know what's going to happen. If somebody loses, the Aggies are probably going to get in. Otherwise, it just doesn't matter to me. I try and avoid these rankings, except when Mizzou backs into the 25th spot like they did last week, and then I pretend like they're like the most important thing for the prestige of your program. But this week, I just don't care.
I think it is questionable when you see stupid comments like we did from Dan Mullen, basically, again, lobbying once again that he should be in, or that UF should be in after 2 losses, and more aggressively so. But for Cincinnati, the note I have, Cincinnati dropped 2 spots. They were idle this week because of COVID. But now they're behind Georgia with 2 losses, Iowa State with 2 losses, and Florida with 2 losses. And Florida's lost to LSU again, inexcusable. Iowa State lost to Arkansas State early in the season. And then Georgia, I know that they're quote unquote better now. That makes no sense. I've had enough, Will. I'm going to go work with Claire McCallie.
Now, I do find the Florida dropping 1 spot to be potential or even more egregious. They were 24-point favorites at home to LSU. That is a bad loss. I don't care who LSU that's losing to Vandy. If Georgia would have lost to Vandy, they'd be 24-point favorites. You can't. That's an inexplicable bad loss. They should have fallen 10 spots. I mean, but again, I to quote, as Will mentioned here, when I started my conversation with, I have no thoughts on the rankings, and then I went on a rant. I can't really care.
That's usually how it goes with you.
Thank you.
Big games. Y'all want to just save those for when we pick them, but we've got all the conference title games this week. Week.
We got to talk the big story that everybody's been talking about, and that is former Duncanville Panther Jaquindon Jackson enters the transfer portal. Where's he going to go, Dylan? I mean, he's bailing on Texas. What happened there?
I weirdly think you know more than I do on the situation, Dave. Something about the I think soon to be redshirt freshman Hudson Card quarterback is looking good in practice, and I think Jaquindon sees the writing on the wall. I don't know, Dave. You tell me. Where's he going to go? SMU? Somewhere better? No offense, KJ?
Well, I mean, I can't think of too many places better, but
they don't want him at SMU, I guess.
It's going to be a toss-up. I think that seriously, we had a press conference, not to make this about SMU, but Sonny Dykes had his press conference, and they were talking about the graduating class, and he gave a very generic blanket statement that these guys have contributed a lot, but he did not comment on anyone's future. He wanted them all to make that known on their own, and then later told people that I really anticipate returning 18 to 20 of our 22 starters, and we have 9 seniors that are starters, so there's a significant amount of seniors that are planning, or at least he thinks I'm coming back. And if that's happening at SMU, where it's not like you're staying for the clout, I can only imagine what it's going to look like at other schools.
I'm with Klein here in the comments. I think he's going to Rice.
There's a
if you're
connection at Rice.
If you're
connected to Rice,
they've been working to build that pipeline.
If you're a legit quarterback and you think you're not going to get playing time because someone else has a job, you absolutely should transfer. There's no ill will here for the kid going somewhere else. There's only one quarterback that gets to play most of the game, so
maybe he'll take Charlie Brewer's seat. Gosh, can y'all imagine dealing with Baylor with the Duncanville quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, you hate me now. You'll just tune out then, man. No, I think if you last thing I'll say on it, it's not that big of a deal to anybody outside of Texas, but the schools that I kind of assumed that he was a little bit homesick, and SMU is the logical landing spot because there's Duncanville guys who are committed to go there. There's Duncanville guys at Rice. There's a couple Duncanville guys that are going to be at Colorado State. I don't think that's in play. But I would be shocked if he left the state. My money is on SMU. Thank you.
All right. We're going to do this NBA story. College coaching carousel we'll talk about on Monday. Micah, do you want to gain more followers here?
Sure. I mean, James Harden is the story in the NBA. And first he shows up. He looks fat. I mean, who are we kidding?
It's followers.
James Harden did not look good. He came back. He showed up. He passed the protocol. He didn't talk to anybody, but he is there. He had a press conference, said, I'm just here to play, which is, mostly said the right things. And then yesterday, someone leaked a very well-reported story to ESPN, or at least pitched this to Tim McMahon, who I'll just read the lead here. The Houston Rockets culture in the James Harden era, which bridges 2 owners and now 4 head coaches, might be best summed up by a former staffer's 3 words: whatever James wants. And they just basically talk about how James Harden is just James being James. And if everyone knew that if the Rockets had 2 nights off in a row, he was going to go get a private jet and go party in Vegas. And they're just sliming him, and I love it.
Dude, he was Dennis Rodman. That's exactly the story from the documentary. That's exactly what Dennis Rodman did. Yeah, when you're James Harden, I guess you can get away with stuff like that. But God, no.
Do we really have a Lizzie commentator?
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on anymore. But yeah,
Does not have legs.
Can I say that while it's not a surprise that they've done everything to cater to Harden, I don't think that's a secret. It is kind of wild that he would ask, he would make the team stay another night if it was in like a certain town that he liked.
Yeah.
All that stuff, that's wild. I think those guys party more than we think in normal times, but this is downright egregious.
By the way, back to him being fat. Didn't they didn't the season end 2 months ago? What has he been doing? This has been the shortest off season in history. He's been on the couch the whole time.
Well, he was last seen I think he was last seen in a strip club in Atlanta, and someone asked, "What have you been doing in Atlanta?" And he said, "Getting ready for the NBA season," which is just a great quote.
It was Vegas and Atlanta, and he goes, "Why are you there specifically?" Basically, and he's like, "That's where my personal trainers are." And I'm like, personal trainers will follow your person. What are you talking about? You're James Harden. They will fly to Houston.
He left the bubble 3 days ago. I just don't know what he's been doing to gain all that weight.
The quotes here, of course, they're they're anonymous. If they have multiple days off, everyone knows James is going to fly somewhere else and party, but he's going to come back and score a 50-point triple-double, so they're okay with it. Apparently, the lack of discipline and attention to detail hasn't been okay with Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, ultimately leading to breakups between Harden and those 2 stars.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Apparently, Harden shows up late or everywhere he goes. The bus nothing ever starts on time. The plane is always late. The bus is never on time. It's just an organized AAU team. They're just killing him.
I said this in one of our text groups, but he looks like Jason Peters, the left tackle for the Eagles. Exactly how he looked.
Well, intern Luke in the comments said, who was it that said that?
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins said he looks like me with a wig on. It's just such a mean thing to say about a large person.
Damn.
I was pretty stoked when he came out and this photo surfaced and he was huge because it took some of the heat off of Luka, because everybody was saying Luka got fat, and I do think that's been overblown because Luka he'll admit he's not in the best shape, but he is not nearly as bad as Harden.
I don't think Luka's before shape was what the difference between Luka before and now is not as great as Harden before and now. It's just it ain't good. I just laugh at thinking about what would it be like Harden on a team with Jimmy Butler, and how quickly would Jimmy Butler slap the shit out of James,
Yeah.
it's like what he got in
Those
fights
two-
in Philly and in Minnesota. Because like he called people soft and bitches because they weren't practicing or didn't want to play hard enough. Like that's why he loves Miami. So I want to see Jimmy Butler try to go to his hometown and end up on a team with Harden and just destroy him. And I don't even hate Harden. I just want to see that happen.
There is some other breaking news in the associations this evening. According to the Los Angeles Times, whose website just blocked the article I was reading due to a paywall, someone is accusing Jerry West of trying to funnel $2.5 million to Kawhi Leonard's family and then not paying it. And now the NBA is investigating this.
Very nice.
Jerry West, a consultant with the Clippers. So,
oh, I forgot he took that job. Obviously he was in the front office of the Lakers forever. Okay.
Yeah, the headline, Johnny Wilkes, who says he's best friends with Kawhi Leonard's uncle, says Jerry West promised him $2.5 million in exchange for helping the team land Kawhi. And
Kawhi's
Jerry
uncle's
West
been a
didn't pay.
thing for a minute. Kawhi's uncle was a thing in San Antonio, as you know.
Yes. But now this is Kawhi uncle's best friend. It's absurd.
Yes.
Cam Newton's dad and Kawhi's uncle, are they the same guy?
I don't think Kawhi's uncle is a preacher, the way Cam's dad is. It's a whole thing. But this is a developing story here on Too Much Dip.
Keep an eye out. All right. What else we want to hit?
Is it time for pick?
I think that's all I got. That's all I got for the NBA. We got some Mavs preseason that I need to go watch here in a minute.
Yeah, let's hop to picks because we can cover H in our picks because there's news here, real big, thick, breaking news.
Oh, seriously? So gross.
So I would say it's intentional, but it was mostly out of just laziness and forgetfulness. I hadn't updated the picks in the last 2 weeks. So after updating everything that's gone on since week 11 in the NFL, we go back to that point. Micah was handily in the lead. I was slightly behind him. I don't have the points from back then. Followed closely by Dylan and then David. I believe you were in last or one or the other, but y'all are separated by a couple points. Now, in last place at 84 points, one, David C. Ruff. In second place, who's been leading the entire season
What?
at 88 points, Michael Weiner.
Ooh.
Wow.
A fall from grace. And then in second place now, Dylan at 89.
What?
And I have crept into the lead at 92 points overall. How
Let's go.
happened? Micah, you had 2 back-to-back weeks where you were 3 or 5 last week and 6 and 4 the week before. It just was not a strong week for you. Dylan was also 6 and 4 that week, but he's hit his big boy stacks every week. And last week he was 7 and 1.
Let's go. Let's go.
So that'll catch you up, ladies and gentlemen. For those watching at home, big boy stacks count triple. So it's a big deal. Let's roll into this week's picks. Starting with tonight's game before it kicks off, Chargers at Raiders. 1 point per game, triple for big boy stack. Chargers at Raiders. Raiders are favored by 3.5 at home.
I'll get mine out of the way. I will never bet with Derek Carr. I think I've made my disdain for him pretty apparent at this point. I'm going Chargers.
Well, I'm going to disagree with Dylan. I like that beta male David Carr. The Raiders have a lot more to play for. I just think they come out and get this dub at home by a touchdown.
I will take LA.
Raiders are still in it. They're playing for something like Micah said. Chargers, there's a lot up in the air. I don't know who's healthy, who's not. I am riding with Derek Carr.
Brandon, I really recommend you go back and listen to the episode. We've had a third party audit every pick and give us a full analytical breakdown of these picks, and shit's legit.
Ernst & Young.
Ernst & Young quality. Oregon USC plays tomorrow. USC is only favored by 3. This is the Pac-12 title game. They're all over the map here.
Well, this game is Friday.
I see why. The Saturday game is what's throwing me off the next one. So, yeah.
I don't want to be like J-Bone here, but I would like to pick this game as a push, but I'm not going to do that. I'll take USC to win the game by 4, but I think they're going to win the game by 3. So
sure you don't want to take the push?
No, I need the points. And much like our presidential election, I was leading for a long time, and now I'm not, and I'm starting to call shenanigans.
Counting and when the numbers came back, you were behind.
I'm not happy with the transparency. I'm going to start filing lawsuits.
Let's see, David.
Ooh, I like USC, and I am about 60% sure about that, based on what I'm looking at.
Dylan?
Give me USC.
I am also on USC, and I don't recall ever watching a single one of these teams play all season, so I'm basing that on absolutely nothing.
Classic. Bills at Broncos, Saturday night game. The NFL, Bills and Broncos cutting in here with Saturday night game. Broncos are getting 6 points at home. I'll go first. Give me the Bills.
Give me Denver at altitude. Bills coming off their biggest win in I don't know how many years. This looks like a letdown game. They're going to win the game by a field goal, but give me the Broncos and Drew Lock to keep it close.
Give me the Bills by 1 million. Drew Lock stinks. Mizzou stinks. This is going to be a bloodbath.
Ooh, I don't believe in letdown games. Any loss is a letdown game, in my opinion. Give me the Bills.
I'm making up points left and right. Let's go.
Very close. Big Ten title game. Ohio State's favored by 20.
I'll go first here. I like Northwestern. Shouts to the journalism schools out there. Keep this thing within a touchdown or two.
Michael Vaughn thanks you for your support.
Yes.
Is this the Fighting Reese Davises? That's Northwestern? Or am I thinking
it
somebody
is?
else?
Yes.
Yeah, I got them. I got the Reese Davises by plus 20.
David?
Ooh, I like Ohio State. My in-house proprietary projected margin's like 17.4, and I'm about 84% sure on that. So, yeah, give me Ohio State.
That means you should be taking Northwestern, David.
Ohio State is favored by 20.
Yeah, the line's 20.
Oh well, fuck, I got some bad intel.
You know what they say, garbage in, garbage out. So
Dan sent me this.
Oh, somebody's been doping in their last place. I see.
No, somebody needs to make up some personal ground from last weekend. Had to bring in the big guns to get it all back.
I was going to go with Northwestern as my big boy stack. And you know what? I probably should fade, but I'm in first place. I don't need to. So give me Northwestern as my big boy stack.
Smart pick.
God damn.
There we go.
Wow.
Then we have Oklahoma playing Iowa State. Iowa State's only getting 5.5. This game is going to be played in Arlington at Jerry World.
Who wants it first?
I will take Oklahoma. They won't win by.
Give me Oklahoma and give it to me as my big boy stacks. The Sooners are going to win this game by 3 touchdowns. Sorry.
Getting big. Getting big. That's just the most ridiculous audio clip of all time. I got Iowa State. They're not a bad ball club. I like their coach. I like them going up against the freshman and Rattler in a Big 12 title game. We'll see.
Oh, wow. This game will not be close. This game will be over at halftime. Give me Oklahoma.
Oh, you playing. We have 9-1 Louisiana at 11-0 Coastal Carolina. Some might say the game of the week.
This is for the Sun Belt title.
Wow.
It is a belt made of the sun.
Dude, that was the last belt.
Do we have a line on this?
Last time they had 2 teams in the top 20.
Micah, can you? We'll come back.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, they're laying 3.5.
Okay, so I'm gonna take Louisiana.
Give me TMD's official team, Coastal.
I am also on Coastal.
As Josh notes, Louisiana is who beat Iowa State first couple weeks of the year. Huh?
I'm just talking to Tony Reale in the comments, just coming in and all these corrections.
Yeah, it's fair. I'm riding with Coastal. I feel like they had a near-death experience last week, and they're riding that adrenaline bump. Let's go Coastal. What?
Clemson versus Notre Dame. Clemson's favored by 10.5.
Jeez.
They do have future Jacksonville Jaguar Trevor Lawrence playing this week. Did not when they lost before, so. It's not good. 10.5 is too many points. Give me Notre Dame.
Yeah, it is. This is my big boy stack. I also have Notre Dame. I know they won. I know because they're Clemson's backup quarterback, but they're a really good team, and they're definitely not 10.5 points worse than Clemson.
Yeah, I'll ride with Notre Dame as well. That half points, that hook is what I'm looking for here. Too many.
Are y'all 3 for 3, Notre Dame?
That's correct.
4 for 4. Let's go.
Wow. All of us getting domers. Let's see. Bama, Florida. Bama's favored by 17. I assume this is going to be played in Atlanta in front of our captain in chief, right?
I believe so.
Commander in chief, not captain in chief.
The Orange Man.
Who do you got, David?
Dude, that's a lot of points, but I am riding with Alabama. Riding that momentum after signing Duncanville's own Kendrick Blackshire. I'm very excited for this game.
I got Florida plus 17. They're going to bounce back after that tough loss last week, and that's just too many points.
The algorithm says that I should take Florida here, but I just don't believe it. I will go anti my own power rankings and take Alabama to win this by 3 to 4 touchdowns.
I'm going to ride with Florida here. I've been picking against Bama, and I've lost every single pick against Bama all year. But I'm going to do it again. Tulsa, Cincinnati. Tulsa at 4-1. Playing Cincinnati, who's undefeated at 9-0, 10-0 for the American Athletic Conference Championship. Cincy's favored by 14.5. Give me Tulsa to cover.
Give me the Cincinnati Bobcats.
Thank you.
Ooh.
I'm going to fade Dan here. He's riding with Cincinnati. Tulsa's lost one game, and it's like the week one to Oklahoma State, and it was a close game. It was like 16-7 or something. I'm riding with Tulsa. Former Baylor great Zach Smith. Let's go.
I like Tulsa as well. That half point is swaying me in that direction. It's going to be relatively close.
All right, final 3 games, all NFL. Are any of these the Monday Night Football game? Steelers, Bengals, no. Okay, so we have Patriots, Dolphins. Dolphins are favored by 3 at home. Give me Miami. Michael.
I hate the pick. Miami is the better team. Miami has won for me several times this season. I'm going to take Miami. I just am going to hate myself on Monday when I realize that I bet a rookie quarterback against Bill Belichick, but let's ride with fins up.
I, too, am on Miami. I am becoming a Tua believer. I think he's got the it factor, and he's going to be he's got this one by more than 3 points.
David?
You know, I've said it before. The dolphin is the most kissable animal in the sea. I'm riding with the Dolphins.
He has said that, folks.
On Miami. Chiefs at Saints. Chiefs only favored by 3 on the road.
I got KC. Get it out of the way.
David?
It's going to be a wet one. KC's going to soak him. Give me KC. What?
I mean, the game's being played indoors, David. I don't know why it would be a wet one, but I think Taysom Hill gets soaked as well. I'll go with the Chiefs.
She leaking.
So stupid.
Give me Kansas City. After the Chiefs fucked up last week and still won, I think they'll have their shit together and win handily and put the Saints position to get a bye out of reach.
Who's the better quarterback, Pat Mahomes or Taysom Hill?
I mean, are we asking for a win or are you asking for yards? Browns at Giants. Browns favored by 4.5.
Just padding his stats. That's all he does. Garbage time touchdowns.
Browns.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'll ride with the Browns. They kind of have an unstoppable run game. They've got two really, really good running backs, and the Giants don't.
Yeah, the Browns are playing well. The Giants are not, and it's that easy.
I'm with Dylan. The Browns are better. I hate betting on the Browns, but here we are.
You know what? I'm taking Giants because we would have just had 3 straight games where we all picked the same team. That's just too much. I was going to go with the Browns. They looked good until they got shit on the other night. So we'll see. David, we need your big boy stack.
Ooh, let me go here and just check this out. Give me Texas A&M at Tennessee, land 14.
Okay.
That's right.
It's 14. Okay.
I'm riding with our friends in College Station.
Getting big. God damn.
Can I ask Dylan a hypothetical?
What's up, Dave?
You got to ride in a car from here to Lubbock, Texas. You either have to ride with Garrett Gilbert or Baker Mayfield. Who you choosing?
Oh my God! Can I take a bus? Do I have to ride in the car?
No, you can't. You're tweaking the hypothetical. That's not how it works.
God. Give me Baker. Give me Baker. Lord forgive me. Give me Baker.
Oh man, that's gonna be a fun one.
I hate Garrett Gilbert. I hate him. I hate Baker too.
Is it because he looks like Klein? Yes or no?
Do what?
It's not because he looks like Klein. Like, that's just rude.
Klein's much better looking than Garrett Gilbert. I'll say it.
I agree.
You're welcome, Klein.
Anything, Micah, to tell the people before we get out of here?
I mean,
Why are we going to Lubbock, by the way?
Everyone should subscribe to Micah's Read of the Week, the newsletter, and Mind of Micah. But other than that, I mean, you gave it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. They'll be listening to Chase Young the whole way. All right. Get out of here,
folks. It's been fun.
Rebirth Island.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.
Give it up. Give it up.
Sunday night.